Yo, 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 what is going on, everyone? How are we doing today? Welcome to another Shonen Sunday. It is July 27th, 2025, 11:33 a.m. We are fashionably late as always, and I am happy and excited to see all of you guys here today because, well, to be honest with you, it seems like both Sakamoto days and Kagurabachi are going to be heading into some pretty devious and insane moments in their stories. So I'm sure both series are going to be quite fun and interesting to get into. As always, we're a democratic establishment out of here, so we are going to have a vote to see who we read first. Who do we read first? Do we read Sakamoto days first? Do we read Kagurabachi first? Let me know what your thoughts are. But besides the voting, most importantly, how the heck are you guys? Are you guys doing well? It is, of course, Sunday, so I know some people have the Sunday scaries, but at least we're blessed with some nice story times, especially with Monday and Tuesday coming up. You know, we've got Gachi Akuta joining the rotation, so that's always nice. That's another journey to go on. And honestly, Don to Don has been nothing but greatness on Mondays. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays have definitely been interesting days for me. I don't know about any of you guys, if any of you guys feel the same about that. But as always, most importantly, I just want to know what you guys are feeling and how you guys are doing. Because, again, I single-handedly have nothing but appreciation for all you guys, anyone who takes just a second out of their day to watch my content. It means the world to me, more than you know. So we got a couple of votes going on here. Interesting. I think my chat is not working for some reason. Hold on. Let me refresh because I see you guys on my OBS, but I don't see you guys. Here we go. Hold on. All right, perfect. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is it looks like Kagurabachi is winning so far out of 5 votes. Who do we read first is Kagurabachi and Sakamoto days. Now, what's going on with me? Anything new? If you didn't know, I did drop a video that I really put a lot of time and effort into. So if you haven't seen it, or if you weren't sure if you thought it was going to be a good time, I highly recommend that you go ahead and watch it, because to be completely honest with you, I think it's some of my best work. And it is the video called, you know, when being loyal means betraying everything. Just came out with a brand new thumbnail, everything like that. I think it's a video that you will enjoy. It's also a sponsored video, so it really helps the channel. So I really would appreciate if anybody, if you haven't already checked it out, please go check it out when the stream is over. I would really genuinely appreciate that more than anything in the world, because this was a video that I put a lot of heart into when I wrote it. So I hope you guys feel the same. And I've gotten some compliments, but just you know, it's a new type of video, so need some help in that algorithm. But that being said, let's move on. I don't want to spoil anything. What up, Des? What up, D Lions? Chillin', killing, nothing but fulfilling dreams. That was off the top. That was a crazy freestyle. Kagurabachi sweep indeed. 56% has Kagurabachi out of 9 votes. I think that's honestly everybody. Honestly, that might be almost everybody. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure if you're not already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. And as always, sending you that spirit bomb energy. If you don't think anybody is in your corner, just know that I am always in your corner. And we're gonna get into Kagurabachi, it seems, in just a little bit. That will be the first thing that we read for the day. So before we get into spoiler territory, I do just want to bring attention to the sponsor of the stream. As always, that is going to be Gamer Subs. The one, the only. Gamer Subs, they're having their Christmas in July sale. You're getting free AFK samples and 1 blind box in every qualifying order. Honestly, again, like, I know, like, Gamer Subs is the big sponsor of the channel, which I highly appreciate, and the reason why I push them so often isn't just because, you know, like, they're a sponsor. Obviously, you know, we do have that connection, but at the same time, I drink Gamer Subs all the fucking time. I had Gamer Subs this morning, and I will continually drink Gamer Subs almost every day of my life. So you can trust that you are getting an honest review and an honest push from me when it comes to just saying that Gamer Subs is great. So gamersubs.gg/noop, please. It helps. Every single purchase helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And not for nothing, even if you don't want to spend money, and you've never tried it before and you're unsure if it's worth it, you can go to gamersubs.gg if you're a new customer, and you can get free samples. Literally, you can just get free samples. So they're always willing to get some new people onto their mix. So that's just the sponsor of the stream. We're gonna go ahead and get into Kagurabachi, unless anybody has anything to stop what should be nothing but pure peak fiction. I want to make it very clear, there will be spoilers, so if you are not fully caught up to Kagurabachi and you're unsure about if you want to be spoiled, I highly recommend that this is your time, this is your chance to dip out, because this is going to be full spoiler territory, and we are not going to be holding back. We will be, oh, well, actually, we're 50-50 right now. We've got 10 votes, 50-50, but I think we already declared Kagurabachi the winner, unfortunately. I think that's what we're going to go ahead and go with. Does anyone here think there'll be an 8th sword? Another secret enchanted blade would be kind of crazy. Honestly, you know what, but that would just prove that Rokukira knew that the Shinushi needed to be stopped. But yeah, even though we just hit 50-50, I think we decided on Kagurabachi. So, guys, before we get into the new chapter, just to kind of discuss a little bit about the previous chapter, 87, just to kind of recap, make sure everybody's all caught up. So, Kagurabachi 87 was essentially the big reveal of the remaining Hashaku members. It has been a while since we've actually seen... Actually, I don't think we've ever actually seen their full connection. So, being able to see all of the Hashaku, and it's interesting that they were all children, I think is one of the biggest things that we learned from all of that. The fact that they are all children says a lot about what Yora has been up to and the kind of people that Yora was recruiting. But on top of that, we had a weird moment with Yora and the old guy who was monitoring the desk, I guess. And it just pointed more and more towards the fact that Yora and the Sword Saint are connected in some way, shape, or form. A lot of you guys pointed out that this was this guy's tie over his head and he's actually bald, which I did not catch. I thought he just had some kind of weird, his barber kind of fucked him up, you know? So I'm glad that's not the case. And also we have the spoiler, or not spoiler, I guess the cliffhanger and the potential reveal of what Aruha's original sorcery once was. So I'm excited to see that. I think the making of another sword is likely depending on how long the series goes on for. Yeah, I could definitely see Chihiro being able to construct his own sword. That would be an interesting development into the story. It all depends on how long the series goes on for, you're right. I'm not caught up, but I don't mind spoilers. I missed the first villain. He was awesome. Sojo was great. Sojo was peak. But anyway, y'all, let's get into it then. Let's not waste any more time. Let's just get right into Kagurabachi. What I will be saying is this is not a market substitute. That should be fairly obvious. I am not looking to whatsoever, you know, replace or substitute the existing material. This is all just for reaction purposes, and this content is purely for my reaction. Without a doubt, there is no market substitute. That's why I'm gonna have Summer's blind owls blocking everything. The pages won't be big enough really for you guys to make out. If you want to read along, please go support the initial release, go support the physical release, go also have like a Viz Media subscription, a Shonen Jump subscription, and you can read along, which is what I highly recommend, because again, I will be blocking out the pages with Samura's owl in order to not be a market substitute. Please go support the official release, and this content is purely for commentary and reaction purposes. That being said, let's get into Kagurabachi chapter 88. I am more than excited to see what happens after, honestly, what the big reveal of the Hashaku showed, and Aruha being right in front of all of the Hashaku members that just infiltrated. Let's see how this Kamunabi raid goes, especially with Samura and Chihiro about to show up. This is going to be crazy. All right, chapter 88. Where's the Hashaku? 5 of them. On the west wing, 5th level. After we went to all the trouble of inviting them to the threat elimination grounds where they could cut loose to their heart's content. Why couldn't they just go that way? Well, we've got no choice now. Contact the elite troops. We'll surround the Hashaku. I don't know how well it's gonna go. I don't know if the elite troops, anytime people are marked as elite in this business, it seems like they get cooked. So it makes me very worried. But it looks like there's some groups that we haven't seen yet, so we might see some new designs. But we still haven't identified the informants. There's no time to waste. We'll issue the command and watch how they behave. All lower ranking members are still ordered to remain in place. And the elite forces will attack toward the west and keep them away from the center. It's all right if there's some damage to the building, but whatever it takes, we have to eradicate the Hashaku. Let's see how the raid goes. Yora and Aruha face to face. He wasn't supposed to be alive, so Yora didn't know Aruha was kept alive by Samura. That's actually a surprise. That's big time, actually. That damn Samura. Hakori, can you fight? Yes. You sure? Somewhat. I can cast ESO every so often, but I just used a string of strong spells. I need rest. I can still transport, though. All of the things I registered in the past have been reset. Great summary. There are 7 enemies in front and in the back. I'll need to stay close to the boy. I'll protect him and destroy them at the same time. Excellent. Bring it on. All right, let's see what you got, Aruha. Let's see what you're cooking. Oh. Huh? What the fuck? What the hell's going on? So these are the traders that are showing up first. So these are the Kamunabi traders, not the Hashaku that are jumping in. He got cut up. What happened? Even Aruha's surprised. Kiri! Heya, oh, that was that's one of the elite squads. That's one of the elite troops. She just fucked that dude up. Oh, it's Aruha. I heard you were dead. Well, okay then. Just Aruha? Not Mr. Aruha? Damn, no honorifics. Well, see for yourself. I'm alive. Wow, that's a nice surprise. So aloof. Who is this? Let me introduce her. The progenitor of the white purity style was Itsuo Shirikai Sensei. This is his grandchild, the Izaru squad's Kiri Shirikai. Ah, so this was the only other person to master EI white purity style, I guess. Hogazono giving us another top tier female character. True, 110%. This must be because there were 4 names on the EI white purity style board. It was obviously the person that created it, Aruha and Samura, and I guess she's the final user of the attack. This is Shirikai Sensei. He's left me half dead 4 times. Look after my grandchild for a while. If you make her cry, I'll slaughter you. Aruha, Samura. The master permitted us to babysit her often. Yeah, permitted. Seems like that was kind of forced, in my honest opinion. I'm hungry. Go get something to drink. Roger. That's cute. I'm grateful. Wow, Mr. Aruha expresses thanks. Hakori's a part of the flashback? Shirikai Sensei is currently missing. I'm bored of fighting people. Maybe a bear. A big bear. He's probably living out in the mountains somewhere. He's impossible to contact. He texts me. You doing good? I'm good. You live a long life, Grandpa. Oh, you're a nice grandchild. He's never this nice to us. Duh, at least until I kill the old bastard. What? Swords are for men. They're too heavy for a woman's slender arms. You'd be dead in no time. Huh. Grandpa's a total male chauvinist pig when it comes to the sword. I want him alive and kicking until I get the chance to hack him up. Oh, fair. Honestly, you know what? Good for you. You deserve it. You deserve that right. She said, all right, I'm going to show you that I'm better than you. Fair enough. Isn't that a good motivation for her character? Kiri, this is Hakori. Nice to meet you. The Hashaku are just letting them have this fucking reunion. That's kind of crazy. What up, Crystal Bear? Yep, okay, yeah, wasting absolutely no time at all. This is supposedly the strongest fighter of the Hashaku, right? Damn, so much for being nervous. He jumped right in. Aruha threw that fucking kick. Damn, fucking kicked him through the wall. Okay, Aruha. Aruha had that kind of power? Koen, Crimson Recital. Oh, let's see. Sorcery. That landed. No need to freak out. Look, we'll be fine. Mako, Demon Bite. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is a giant fucking... Hold on, I need to switch to horizontal. Looking a little crazy. Literally, what is it? Is Aruha literally just a Choso? Just a Choso merchant? He's just got flowing red scale. That'd be kind of cool, honestly. I'd feel like that would fit his character pretty well. He's able to use the, power up his physical attacks with his blood. And I fuck with that design of that giant fucking demon head. Kiri, look out for Hakori for me. You got it. All right. Time to go on the offensive. Now. Oh. Yura pulled out a sword. From a book? Damn, Yura versus Aruha. I didn't see this matchup coming. His speed's intimidating, but he's lost the destructive force he had before. His power enables him to fortify one ability at a time. Chihiro's holding back, Mr. Samura. The Hashaku, impressive. Coming out to do your own dirty work. Did you run out of tricks to kill the sword bearers? We're running out of time. I'd appreciate you not getting in our way. Huh? Yura, they keep coming. You know where you are. You're in the hive now. There are plenty of people besides me who will get in your way. True. In this place, there are all sorts of people. Our job is to create momentary confusion. Nothing more. Oh, the fucking eyes and the reference to the Sword Saint again. It's undeniable. I'm telling you, this is undeniable. These characters are connected in some way, shape, or form. Even Aruha is caught off guard and immediately thinks of the Sword Saint. Yeah. The connection is without a doubt. We have a card. The death match. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, this doesn't look good at all. The death match. Huh. Damn, Oruha versus Yora is not what I saw coming. Had to always support the official release first, like a good boy. Good job, Coconut. Proud of you. But god damn, yeah, Kagurabachi always stepping in strong with the heat. What a big, I did not expect this kind of matchup to come in that quick. Also, for the strongest fighter of the Hishaku, quote unquote, to get fucking no-diffed, just instant kicked and pushed out. Koen, Crimson Recital, and Mako Demon Bite. I kind of do like the translation where we're getting like the full name as well as what the you know, what the Japanese name is. I prefer that. I always do prefer that. Hokazono gonna kill Oruha a second time? Nah, no way. He would never do that twice. I think even if this battle was to continue, I don't think either of these characters would die. I mean, Yora even said their job is simply to create momentary confusion, because we know the Sword Saint is also on his own warpath. Once the Sword Saint gets the Shinichi, it's kind of over. Everyone, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button for another solid chapter of Kagurabachi. Chihiro and Samura still have not showed up yet, and things are already getting crazy. Again, who saw these matchups coming? But at least we know that this is an elite squad member that we can surely trust. Kiri is 110%, you know, not a traitor to the Kamunabi, which is good to know. Already one of my favorites, wielding an Odachi as a fucking statement. You think I can't wield a katana? Watch this shit, Grandpa. That is a big time point. You know what? I didn't even catch that, Coconut. You're so right. Wielding the fucking extra long, heavyweight fucking sword and still being able to use EI White Purity style, from what I imagine, right? Damn, that is super cool. I'll say, as someone that, now, correct me if I'm wrong, what is the difference between an Odachi and a no-dachi? Right? I don't want to get this wrong here. Because I've always been a big fan of the no-dachi myself here. The Odachi versus the no-dachi. Oh, the no-dachi is fucking so long. No, Odachi versus no-dachi. The Odachi versus no-dachi. Well, this is the length of the no-dachi was typically around 3 shaku or 35.8 inches, so about 3 feet. When comparing a katana versus a great sword, they differ, blah, blah, blah. Since Odachi and no-dachi were, in fact, the same weapon, it's more useful to compare this weapon type to a katana. Odachi were usually more cumbersome, but they had much more strength and power per blow. Okay, so no-dachi and no-dachi are essentially maybe the same thing. No-dachi literally translates to field sword, while Odachi means large sword and great sword. When debating Odachi versus no-dachi, referring to a samurai sword as no-dachi specifies the application of the sword and how it's used on the battlefield. When calling a sword an Odachi, you are usually more so referring to the size of the weapon. Yep, you were right, Coconut, for sure. Yes, so no-dachi is more for, no-dachi is more of the combat-oriented, oriented version of the blade, whereas like you would just refer to an Odachi as a great sword in general. Like Odachi is the more neutral term, and then like you know, the no-dachi is what you would refer to as a sword that someone was using in combat. They're essentially the same thing, just different ways of. The Japanese language is fucking weird, dog. What the fuck kind of ad did I just get here? All right, I just wanted to be clear. So technically speaking, so either way, this is an Odachi. Technically speaking, because she's using it for combat, it's a no-dachi. but I just became a kick streamer for a minute real quick. The gambling had just popped in. But either way, so yeah, I just wanted to be clear. But I think that's super cool because as someone back in the day, I used to like do like paragraph and like sentence structure, like role play fighting. It's also part of the reason why I really enjoy writing in general as a creator. When I was like a lot younger, like in my teen years, when like forums and like smaller chat rooms were a bigger thing than they were nowadays. And one of the things that I always did, I always thought Nodachi was 10 times cool. Nodachis were 10 times cooler than katanas. So any character that I fought with, I was always a sword person, or a scythe person sometimes. But sword, I always used a Nodachi just because they were longer, cooler, and it's just always super duper cool. I didn't know people still did it, currently. But I don't have the time to do it anymore. But no, it was super duper fun. Like I said, it was such a fun way to flex the creative muscles. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. I am going to do the fresh summary of the Kagurabachi chapter, and just to be very clear, I may miss some chats, so I may miss any dialogue that you guys send to me. I may miss any chats, so just I promise I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. But yeah. Honestly, the chat just looks better over here. All right, that's fine. That looks a little that looks actually pretty good. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, y'all. Let's get into this summary here. And what a good chapter too. So this raid on Kamunabi headquarters just continually increases in stakes and just in random pathways that I did not expect the story to go into, because some of the fights that just broke out are things that I never would have expected. And also there are some theories that we were alluding to last chapter that, in my opinion, definitely 110% got confirmed as well. Because immediately right where the chapter starts off is with the higher ups that were in charge of the barrier realizing that, yep, all the Hoshaku members just infiltrated and have got in. We have no choice now but to fight the Hoshaku. We were hoping that everyone would just go to fight Azami. And again, we still don't even know what's going on there. Azami seemed to have clearly no-diffed that samurai Hoshaku member, but even he feels like something isn't right. And if, from what Yura says in this chapter, all of this is meant to be one big distraction. And if that truly is the case and all of these Hoshaku members have shown up, it has to be for as big of an event as killing Rokuhira was. And we already know that the Sword Saint has begun to move. We haven't touched base with where the Sword Saint is or what he's doing currently since he actually stood up, but from context clues, we can clearly put together that all of this is a coordinated effort without a doubt. However, what makes the raid so fun is some of the unpredictable moments that, again, I referenced earlier, because Aruha being alive is now confirmed to be a surprise to the Hoshaku. Yura did not account for Aruha actually still being a threat. And the moment he sees him, while you have to give credit to Yura, the man does adapt pretty quickly to the situation he just walked into. It still shows that Samura had cards under his sleeve that Yura wasn't able to anticipate. And I love and appreciate that, because for a villain who has seemed so not flawless, but so calculated, strategic, and someone that has seemed to have thought of every possible thing, playing 4D to 5D chess, it's nice to know he isn't infallible. He can be fooled to a certain degree. He isn't just this perfect entity, which is just very humanizing for a character who, in this very same chapter, is implied to have some kind of connection to this demonic being of the Sword Saint. Last chapter, we saw a little glimpse of it, but this chapter, in one of the most surprising matchups of all time, Yora and Aruha, even Aruha sees into Yora's eyes, and whether it's him thinking of the Sword Saint or it's the Sword Saint looking through Yora's eyes themselves, whatever this quick little glimpse into this is, even Aruha knows what's going on, and he should know more than anybody, right? This brief little fight that we get is just honestly very fun and exciting to go through, especially with the reveal of one of these new characters, one of these new elite members, who normally in most circumstances, when a character is described as an elite in Kagurabachi, that's usually not a good thing, because 9 times out of 10 that just means they're going to get no diff and they merely exist as fodder for the actual main characters to look cool and farm aura with. However, this character Kiri not only seems to have a really strong and impactful backstory, she, of all elite members, from the anti-Sojo squad that was formed previously to other people that we've brought in, reminds me more of a member like Hiyuki, someone that has a reason to exist outside of just, you know, aura farming fodder. This character shows up killing one of the traitors of the Kamunabi in from above, cutting down the ceiling and crushing him, wielding a no dachi or odachi, whatever you prefer. And it's amazing to me because just the weapon she's wielding shows and plays perfectly into the character that Hokazono is trying to create. This person, Kiri Shirakai, the Uzaru squad's leader, is actually the granddaughter of the creator of the EI White Purity style. And if you remember, way back when we were introduced to this sword style, there were 4 names on the list. 4 names of people that were said to have mastered this swordsmanship ability. And with all the previous characters using katanas, this one using a no dachi, one of the longest and more heavier combat swords, speaks to not only how strong she is, if she truly is that final master of EI White Purity style, but also it flows perfectly into another piece of her backstory, which is her grandfather being so traditional and old school. He doesn't believe that women should be fighting. He doesn't believe that women should be using swords. In his own words, their dainty hands aren't able to hold and wield katanas properly. And this, instead of turning her into someone that just said, all right, I guess this is my place in the world, she said, screw you, grandpa. I'm not only going to master your sword style with an insanely harder and bigger blade than you do, I'm gonna kill you when I get strong enough one day. And I already love this character. I love everything that she stands for, and I think she's an interesting addition to the cast. And it makes me, for once, hopeful that an elite character might survive. And it's also good to know as well that we get concrete confirmation she's not one of the Hashaku traitors as well, because I know that was a big issue that the higher ups were having. Calling in all of these elite squad members as much as they want to, and as much as that will buff the Kamunabi's defenses, with people being in these teams that may be defectors, they could just be bringing in more traders to congregate in the same area and creating more chaos. But at this point, they don't really have a choice. However, through Kiri's backstory, we can see that Aruha and Samura have raised her since she was a child as babysitters because they were students of Shirakai Sensei, the creator of the EI White Purity style. So, with her being confirmed as an ally that Aruha and Hikori can trust, the battle with the appearing Hashaku members immediately kicks off. And it's interesting that the person that Yura describes as the strongest Hashaku member immediately gets no diff kicked into another planet. Not actually, you know, he gets kicked through a wall and just hasn't shown back up yet. And I'm sure we'll see more of him, but not only does it allow Aruha to display a high power level even without Kumayori, using his original sorcery known as Koen, or the Crimson Recital, which was something a lot of people were very much worried and expecting, and we again got the cliffhanger last chapter that he was probably going to reveal it. What the spell and sorcery actually is, we don't know for sure. However, I've had the inkling just based off of Aruha's character. He reminds me very much of Choso from Jujutsu Kaisen, and again, whether or not you think that's a proper way with it being crimson and him seemingly getting blood marks on his face, completely possible that it may have something to do with him imbuing his blood with power to increase his physical strikes, because once Aruha and Yura do clash with swords, Yura does specifically mention that that power he previously had is gone, so he can really only enable it to fortify one strike at a time. Could be something similar to Flowing Red Scale. I could be completely off, but either way, Yura pulling a blade out of a book and using that to fight against Aruha, and again, his eyes flickering with the Sword Saint's power, is a terrifying sight, especially with the fact that, again, I had no idea we were going to get a fight as critical as Aruha versus Yura. Even Aruha is like, damn, you're really showing up to do your own dirty work, which you gotta give Yura credit for. Again, as a villain, I think Hokazono kills it every single time with when Yura is on screen. He really does steal the show, and I'm excited to see more about this character. Also, we have the one guy who thankfully a lot of you corrected me and told me that he's bald and it was just his tie that he had over his head and wasn't some kind of fucked up haircut. He's got the Mako, the Demon Bite ability, and supposedly their trump card, what the Hishaku has, a card called the Death Match that surrounds everyone with these Demon Bite summons and even gets Kiri involved in battle, and potentially locks Aruha and Yura into a battle. Because again, even if Yura doesn't go any further than fighting Aruha, because I don't think either of these characters will die here. I really don't think either character is gonna die here. I think Aruha and Yura will both walk away from this, because again, the Hishaku's job is just to create a momentary distraction for, obviously, the Sword Saint to reclaim the Shinichi. With that being said, I am more than excited to see what the hell goes on here, and also what else the Hishaku members have to show for, because if this is only just one of the elite members, who are the other elite members I'm sure we can trust? There are multiple panels, and also panels shown that are completely blacked out silhouettes of characters we haven't even seen before. So it stands to reason that with the one Hishaku member saying that there are more people coming, there are even more fights that are going to break out. And we also know that Chihiro and Samura are also going to be appearing. Who is on the chopping block? Who is going to survive what might be, again, one of the biggest arcs that we've gotten in Kagurabachi since the Swordbearer assassination? And if that's one thing that you can give credit to Kagurabachi for, it's that every story arc raises in stakes. And I can't even begin to tell you what we're going to be getting into next chapter. But I promise you, I'll be here for it, and we will be going on this journey every single chance we get every week. So guys, thank you so much. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the channel way more than you know. And subscribe so you don't miss any future Kagurabachi videos, because not only chapter reviews are coming, but plenty other videos that you'll be able to enjoy for sure will be on the channel. And that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. All right, so that is Kagurabachi completely filmed and ready to go. As always, guys, the stream is not anywhere close to being over. We do indeed have Sakamoto days to still read and go through, and I'm sure Sakamoto days will be just as crazy. One thing that I'm very interested to talk about before we get into Sakamoto days, right? Something I do want to bring up. Did you guys see this announcement that, yeah, without a doubt, it is fully confirmed now. For all the people that weren't sure, didn't believe it, or didn't know, you know, couldn't tell it was the writing was on the wall, it is very much true news. Sakamoto Days is ending. Sakamoto Days is entering its final battle portion, which is both sad and understandable at the same time, right? Both sad and understandable at the exact same time, because while it's pretty clear that Sakamoto Days didn't really have many more places to go story-wise, I definitely would have liked to have seen the ending handled in a different way, because the aquarium fight really was just a weird way for... It really was just a weird way for everything to go, you know. It really was just a weird way for Uzuki's big plan to be ruined. I don't know. I will never talk bad about Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days will always remain one of my favorite series, and I will be very, very sad to see it go, without a doubt. But yeah, I do wholeheartedly think that while we probably will be getting some of the best, I do hope that this doesn't mean that it's anywhere close to ending. I do hope that we at least get 20-30 more chapters of some decent one-on-ones, and Suzuki does not rush the final 1v1s of the story. Obviously, I haven't gotten into 223, so I don't know. Some Coconut, you know, and some of you other guys may already know what happens in the chapter, so you may already know the pace at which we're going with, but I genuinely would love to see the final battle take a decent amount of time. I think there are plenty of fights that have been set up that could realistically be, you know, big components. So we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see where it goes. Again, necessarily, this doesn't mean Toramaru and the Seba brothers. Ooh. Okay. I mean, there are enough characters for everyone to get dedicated fights. So just because Sakamoto Days is entering the final battle doesn't mean that it's close. Doesn't mean that it's over just yet. If I had to do some predictions, right? If I had to do some predictions here, let me get Notepad out. If I had to get some predictions here, so the new order, right? The new order. We've got Uzuki, obviously. We've got Gozu, Kumanomi, Torres. Maybe not a space in between. Torres, Tanabata. Oki. Well, we already know Oki's there, and we already know who Oki is up against right now. Tanabata. Am I missing people? Or is that everyone? I feel like I'm missing people, and I'm forgetting people. Oh, Kanagori. And I guess, like, I don't think Akira's gonna fight against us, right? Akira's probably not gonna be on the team. Tenkyu, we don't know what his status is. Tenkyu could return. We don't know what Tenkyu's status is. Yeah, I don't think Akira would be fighting. Okay, to say it, Akira might be dead. So obviously Izuki will fight Sakamoto. Obviously Oki's fighting Nagumo. Gozu was set up to fight Shishiba. I think Osaragi has been set up to fight Kumanomi. You said Siba Brothers and Toramaru can get their own dedicated fights? Interesting. Torres, maybe, Shin. Maybe Tanabata versus Shin? Oh, new characters for them. Oh, for them to fight. Okay. Torres versus, maybe Torres versus Kindaka? Maybe Shin can beat Kanagori, actually. Maybe it's Kanagori versus Shin and Heisuke or something. Gozu's the new Gaku now. We have to accept that. Yeah, I think I think Gaku is without a doubt dead. For all the people that think, you know, Gaku is coming back, I think Gaku is definitely dead. I would be shocked if Gaku was still alive. Gozu's the new Gaku. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Gozu's there to replace Gaku. That makes sense. But Gaku, I saw a comment, and that's not to call anyone out, like, but like people saying like, oh, like, you know, how is Suzuki gonna abandon Gaku? We haven't heard anything about him since the exhibition arc. It's like, well, I feel like Gaku's dead. I feel like that's why we haven't heard anything about Gaku, because he's dead. And who's on Sakamoto's team? There's no way Lou gets a fight. Right? There's no way Lou gets a fight. Amane could get a fight. Amane needs a fight. I don't know. Let's read this next chapter, and then I'll see if I can finish these. I'll see if I'll finish these these predictions. Because I think we can figure out a lot by reading this next chapter. Heisuke versus Music Man. If Lou gets a fight, we're officially back. Yeah, I don't know if Lou will get a fight though. I highly doubt Lou will get a fight. It makes me very nervous. I really don't know if Lou will get a fight. A Yotsumura father-son duo would be sick. Yes, sir. Father-son fucking father-son staff or some shit. I don't know. But all right. Sakamoto Days is here, and we are going to begin Sakamoto Days. 1 second here. It is cold as hell up here. I'm gonna get a quick sweatshirt. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. 1 second. While I'll be right back, really quickly, again, the stream is sponsored by Gamersups, so please don't be scared. Check out the Gamersups website. Use code NOOP for 10% off your order, please. There's so much new shit that they're dropping. They've got their Christmas in July sale going on right now. Go to the website, check it out. I will be right back. Thank you, thank you. Okay. And indeed, they do have waifu cups. You can indeed get your waifu cups. They also come with some free samples, everything like that. They sell out really quickly, honestly. But they do have some waifu cups left. They got Happy Madison. If you're into golf, you know. Get yourself some sample packs as well. They've got Zavaler. I don't know who that is. But, you know. The Good was good. I like good. Brand Risk is also really good, and also Blowhole Blast is a really good sample pack to get. Blowhole Blast is pretty good. And then they got V-Card V-Duelist. I think these are VTubers. I think these are VTubers. But yeah, use code NOOP, 10% off. You get the samples, and also even if you didn't want to get a cup, again, you can try. If you're a new customer, you can get free samples, and using the code still. If you use code NOOP, you can still get free samples. So if you just want to try it out before you buy, I highly recommend you do it. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, they also have AFK, which I'm excited to try personally as well, which is sleep support. They have melatonin, they have non-melatonin. So if you have trouble sleeping, this is also new as well. That they also have the premium energy that they came out with that will be coming out to stores and everything as well. The first opening is already sold out, but they should be coming to stores and everything once they actually get pushed out. So you can actually get, you know, guacamole, gamer fart, you know, goof juice, and a lot of their flavors as genuine just energy drinks at the store, which is super cool. Because again, I love Gamersups, and that's just, again, while I am sponsored by them, I drank them for 2 years before they even approached me. So whoa, were those Cyanide and Happiness? Those were Cyanide and Happiness carts. That was actually pretty cool. Wait, hold on, go back. What the hell? Dude, that's crazy. Jeez. Oh my god. Happiness Chan. Oof. What the hell is going? They don't give a fuck, dude. Cyanide and Happiness are funny as hell. They said, fuck it, we'll go all out. That's so funny. Super cool. Over Easy Eggs. I think these are VTubers, if I'm not mistaken. I think these are VTubers. But yeah, they got something for everybody, dog. 10% off your order, code NOOP. They also got caffeine free. Yep, see, try for free. Oh, they got pixel cups. They also have noodles. They got accessories. They got body pillows. They have cards. They have card packs. I didn't even realize that. They have card packs. They got full body pillows. They got everything. Some of them are sold out. Some of them are alive. Okay, eyes on me cap. They got merch. 10% off. And they have pixel cups as well, which actually seem really cool. If you're not into the waifu stuff, these actually seem really cool as well. Because I know not everyone's into the waifu, the gooner stuff. So these are also very cool. I didn't. Oh, mouse pad too? That's really cool. Some of these are actually sick. I'm just shopping now. My fault. This one's actually super cool. Look at that. Christmas in July, indeed. That's actually super sick with the gingerbread man. These are tough. Can I use my own code? Need a Sakamoto Days collab? Give us an Osaragi cup. Yo, they have a Jujutsu Kaisen collab, so it's possible. They did a Jujutsu Kaisen collab, so it's possible. It's sold out right now, unfortunately, but I did have it. I did try it when it came out, and it was delicious. Oh, and they also had shaker cups and everything that came out too for it when it comes out, and I'm sure they'll come back. They do come back in stock. They do come back in stock, especially like the flavors. The flavor was actually really good. But anyway, okay, that's enough. That's enough of that. So yeah. Also, again, I'll ask, please, very kindly, if you have not seen it, please check out When Being Loyal Means Betraying Everything. The video that I came out with yesterday. It is not only a sponsor, but it's also thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring that video, but it's also like just a video that I put a lot of effort into and a lot of effort into writing and everything like that. So I'd appreciate any love that could be given to that video. Watch it in full, please. It helps a lot. And yeah, because this is this type of video I want to make more of. So I'm hoping that it does well, because it's one of those things where if it doesn't do well, then I can't do more videos like it. But yeah, check it out. I enjoyed making it. I thought it was fun, and I have another one coming soon. But let's get into Sakamoto Days, guys. We have yapped enough. Got to juggle between 3 dogs and a baby now. Oh boy, I understand that's a struggle. Trust me, I completely understand, brother. No rush whatsoever. Trust me. Do what you got to do. As someone that has 2 dogs themselves, I understand. Sometimes it's tough to get work done because I gotta make sure they're not fucking doing crazy shit. Just say thank you to Yuto Suzuki for making Osaragi. Yeah, for real. I have a job, but I'm a part-timer, so it's kind of hard to buy this stuff. Esquileto, do not worry whatsoever. I completely understand, and honestly, me, having the sponsor, while it helps support the channel, also just hitting the like button and you hanging out here supports the channel more than you could ever know, and I appreciate that more than anything in the world. That makes the biggest difference as well. So I don't ever want to make people feel bad or ever make people feel like they have to support the channel monetarily, because again, you guys just showing up to the stream, watching videos, and just hitting the like button means more than it ever could. And again, I will always say, if even just getting the free samples is a major support to the channel. So if buying a waifu cup is too much, again, the free sample is a huge help to the channel as well, and that I don't even think they charge you for shipping. So yeah, and use the code there for that. But either way, you get what I mean. But let's get into Sakamoto Days, unless anyone has anything else. Itchy the Witch has that many viewers. Yeah, Itchy the Witch has been popping off. Also, Kaitagami has been popping off with over 200,000 viewers for their new chapters. This series is starting to make me question if I should hop on the bandwagon, because it just keeps going up in views. Honestly, this series just keeps going up in views. It's not going down at all. It's going up. But yeah, there are two big reasons I feel like, oh yeah, I wonder what those might be. But seriously, I can vouch for it. You should read it. Yeah, I'm down. I might have to give it a shot. I've fallen off of Odor of the Flame too. I've fallen off a little bit on Odor of the Flame. I stopped reading, I think, around like chapter 6 or something. But I gotta get back into that because I love Yuto Kawaguchi, my man. All right, anyway, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into Sakamoto Days. Kaitagami's better. Yeah, Odor, while I love Yuto Kawaguchi, I kind of fell off because I wasn't sure where the story was going. It was kind of slow, which was the same reason why Hunter's Guild Red Hood didn't go through. So yikes. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Oop, shit, hold on, sorry, you have to see this. Yeah, the art style is a little slow. What are my thoughts on horror? I love horror stories. I'm a big horror guy. I don't read many horror manga though, personally. I mostly prefer like horror stories, or like not that manga isn't a horror story, but I mean, I mostly prefer like horror games, honestly. I feel like that is usually the most interesting horror to me. There are some really good horror movies too, but horror manga doesn't really hit for me. While I appreciate Junji Ito, like Uzumaki, and I appreciate his writing style and everything like that, it just doesn't, it's not the same for me personally. New Welcome to Trailer 2 came out recently, and I have a feeling it's going to be really good. I mostly forget the second It. I watched the first one. It's okay. Like I want to read that book, honestly. I know Stephen King's a boss when it comes to horror. But like some of my favorite current horror stuff is like something that's trending right now, like Look Outside is super duper cool for like a horror game right now. Like Fear and Hunger, great RPG maker horror game. Like stuff like that is like what I really enjoy. Happy's Hungry Burger Farm is a really funny but also really good horror game. Stuff like that I really enjoy. As per usual, real quick, let's just get into a quick little story recap of Sakamoto Days before we get into the new chapter. Last chapter of Sakamoto Days was the beginning of, and what we were just talking about, the final battle, with what is most likely going to be the start of some of the final matchups before we get into the end of everything. And what that basically means is what we saw. Oki versus Nagumo. Big time fight. and potentially even more, as I've heard from you guys. New characters are going to be introduced, so it makes it clear that we really are entering the final stages of this story, and I'm excited to see all of the fights and all of the great choreography that Yuto Suzuki is able to end this story with, because that's what got me here in the first place, and I think that's what will, I think that's what will get us through to the end and give me a satisfying conclusion to this. But let's pray and hope, right? That's all we can do. Chapter 223. Just to say, same as Kagurabachi, this is not a market substitute. Please go support the official release, whether that be by buying the physical volumes of the story or purchasing a Viz Media Shonen Jump subscription so that way you can read along with us. This is not any kind of way of substituting the original material. That's why we have Samura's owls blocking everything, and also why everything will be smaller and not shown fully. That way, this is not a complete, as I said, rip. Again, this content exists completely for reaction and commentary purposes. That is the point of this content. Please support the official release, and if you are going to read this chapter, please read alongside, because that's not what this content is here for. Could you please say where you read Gachi-Akuta? I do genuinely read Gachi-Akuta on K-Manga. K-Manga is a little annoying, personally, just because you have to pay $1 to read the new chapter. But it's fair. I get it. It is what it is. It's only $1. It's not like I'm paying $5. It's like buying your local newspaper, to get that new story. I do prefer, Shonen Jump Viz Media with the monthly subscription. That just gives me access to like 100 chapters a day or something like that. And they also have Manga Plus, but I mostly use Viz Media and Shonen Jump personally. But for Gachi-Akuta, I read K-Manga right from Kodansha official website, because that's where it comes out fastest, and that's the best way to support the release. All right, guys, let's get into it. Sakamoto Days 223, Conceited. Yep. Like I said before, last chapter, Oki and Nagumo squared up. Let's get back into it, guys. Wait, hold on. Let me stretch out, dude. Hold on. This chair, sometimes sitting in a computer chair is rough. Oh, there we go. Sorry if I revealed myself at all. Sorry if I showed any skin. Let's get into Sakamoto Days, y'all. Let's not waste any more time. Your house blend. Enjoy. Nagumo fucking blowing off the hot coffee real quick, just like a child. I absolutely love, again, I love the dynamic between Oki and Nagumo here. Not wasted any time either, immediately picking up that knife. He blocks with the fucking, he throws the knife and he blocks with a spoon. Damn, imagine if that knife, what if that knife took out that guy? That's what I mean. Like, some of these fights, it's so funny how they just seem to completely, the civilians are completely fucking just unaware of the world around them. Like, I know a lot of people were like, upset with the whole like assassin world being revealed, and people were like, are the people in the Sakamoto Days really that stupid? And it's like, yes, they really are that fucking stupid. Wasted no time though, fucking picking up from the table and throwing fucking feet. Big time kickers in these chapters this week. Big time Oruha kicking the one dude, Nagumo trying to kick Oki. Damn, kicked him right through the fucking wall. You're parfait. I didn't order that. Damn, getting the wait. What the real tragedy is, the wait staff is overworked. They're getting orders wrong and everything. Yeesh. At least let me enjoy my coffee. Mr. Oki, you forgot something. What? The bill. No thanks. Doesn't the boss usually pick up the tab? Sorry, I'm no longer your boss. Okay. Let's say whoever lives pays. I mean, I think you guys have already dined and dashed at this point. I don't think anyone's gonna come after you guys for the bill, so I don't think the tab matters anymore. All right, the switchblade versus the fucking glaive. Let's fucking see it. Maybe I'm wrong. It might not be a glaive. I don't know. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly. That thing you said earlier about the JAA losing without you guys. I have a warning for you. Don't get too full of yourself, Nagumo. The era of the Almighty Order is over. I've already scouted a few new recruits with abundant killing talent. Oh yeah? Damn, we've already got new people showing up? All right. So yeah, I guess we're right. At least everyone deserves their own dedicated fight. So I hope that's what actually happens. Man, doesn't it seem like the streets are sketchier lately? Lately, this has been going on for 200 chapters, dogs. Yeah, probably because of those new JAA dudes. Huh? Hey, officer, aren't you supposed to be keeping crime under control? You're living off our tax dollars, right? Do your job. Yeah. Oh, oh my God. Wasted no time. Sheesh. I only became a cop because you get to shoot a gun. But with the new JAA, it's legal to kill. There's no point in being a cop anymore. Oh yeah? Really? Fair enough. I didn't know this was America. Because Japanese cops do not shoot guns. I think there's like 2 deaths. I think there's like 2 gun deaths in Japan every year, maybe, if that. Not even. Why would the JAA scout me, though? Well, so long as I get to shoot. Wah. Doesn't that brat ever shut up? Your kid never stops wailing. It's a real pain. Also, you should really chill with the sun protection. Wah. Dang, that kid looks ugly when it cries. I'm sorry, I'll make him stop. What? Aw, you just love blood, don't you? Well, sheesh. We are getting new characters lined up. Kyoto Kanzai Killing Academy. KKK? What the? Ain't no way. We're gonna. Am I the only one who's catching this? We're gonna miss you so much when you move to Tokyo. We really have to get together again. Sheena, you two got scouted by the new JA, right? For real? That's amazing. Well, you were always top of the class. You're both geniuses. It came. It's like our time has finally come, right? The teacher said assassins shouldn't get famous, right? I'm not into it. Tokyo seems sus. Aw, come on. You're too timid, bro. We'll be fine. We're gonna slay big time in Tokyo and make a name for ourselves. We've got some lively kohai, Torres. I never went to school, so having a kohai is getting me amped. What a weirdo. All right. Well, yeah. Looks like we have, you know, siblings. So yeah, the Siva brothers, and then everyone else will also be getting fights as well. It seems, huh? Mostly, probably Toramaru, and then what's the other person's name? The guy with the hearing thing. Maybe he'll get a fight as well. Hmm. Please bring back Kaji. Yeah, Kaji, that's his name. All right, so we really are setting up the final battles here, setting up just some new characters just for some new matchups. Meanwhile, Oki and Nagumo are throwing hands. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Kyoto Kanzai Killing Academy is where Shishiba went and studied, right? Before he dropped out. I don't remember exactly, but that might be the case. That might be the perfect callback. I don't remember exactly. Shishibo was born in Kyoto and attended the Kanzai Region Assassin Institute. Yep. I guess they changed the name to KKK. Damn, that was not a good name change. KRA is fine. The Kyoto Kanzai Region. KKR. It's just, that's just so funny to me. It's not actually like crazy. I just think that's so funny. Just unfortunate. Kyoto Kanzai Killing Academy. The KKKA. Does that mean Shishiba was part of the KKK? I mean, he's got that Aryan look about him. And yeah, he did drop out. So yes, you are correct. This is where Shishiba went before dropping out and joining the order. Surely Lou gets spotlight. We could hope, but I don't know if Lou is doing anything. Yuto Suzuki has pretty much confirmed that he doesn't like putting Lou in fight situations. He prefers Lou being more of like a cute character, which I don't necessarily understand. I don't know why. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's I think we probably won't be getting a Lou final fight. Lou has not been in a fight since chapter 42. I've also heard references, you know, you always have people that speculate, you always have people that give random reasons. And I've heard part of the reason is because you know, with having a character that has to get drunk all the time to fight, Shonen Jump in a manga for teenagers doesn't always like promoting that, which I guess I can understand that again, but that's also hearsay. That's also one of those random, you know, cultural things that like people always assume that like Japan has reasons for doing things when actually most of the time it really don't fucking matter. It really depends. Really depends on the way you look at it. Like, is that possible? Sure. Is that guaranteed definitely the reason? No. Again, I'm pretty sure there was an author comment where Yuto Suzuki just said he prefers putting Lou in cuter scenarios than he does putting her in fight scenarios. So take that as you will. I mean, we've got characters like Osaragi, Kumanomi. So we definitely have strong. We've got Akira, Kao. We definitely have strong women in the series. But yeah, Lou might be a lost cause, personally. Lou might be a lost cause. I definitely agree where I think Lou has had potential for a long time. I think Lou has deserved to have plenty of potential, and deserved to get more screen time. I remember that school's name because it was the same chapter Yotsumura first showed up and went up against Nagumo, Shishiba, and Osaragi. Good catch. Very good catch. All right, so as per usual, I will be getting into the summary portion of the Sakamoto Days chapter. So if you have not already, please hit that like button. It really helps the stream and the channel way more than you know. On top of that, I will be going over the chapter in full, so if I miss any chats, I do apologize, and I will get to you as soon as you can, as soon as I can. I'm sorry. So I just wanted to put that out there very quickly. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the chapter review. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, hit that like button. It means more than you know. And chapter 223 of Sakamoto Days. So if you have seen any of the news, you would know that Sakamoto Days is approaching its final stretch. It is now confirmed as of Shonen Jump News that Sakamoto Days is entering its final battle arc. And the writing was pretty much already on the wall here, which just makes complete sense, especially with the story not really having many more places to go. While there definitely are uncovered territories, there are loose character threads that still need to be tied up, and there are plenty of things that can still be handled and tackled in the plot. As of the main antagonist versus protagonist segment, most of that kind of fell apart with the ending of Uzuki's big gun plan and the aquarium battle. Now, as most people have in the community have pretty much predicted, all that's really left is for the final square ups and 1v1s to go down, as last chapter kind of pretty much solidified, with one of the first final battles kicking off immediately, Oki versus Nagumo. And this is very clearly a battle to the death. Two characters that are not going to be ending this fight until one of them walks away. If these characters somehow do survive, they are definitely only going to be living to fight another day. Perhaps Oki, his final battle is actually more so meant to be up against Kindaka, his former leader. Perhaps Yotsumura might even have something to do with that. Either way, this battle continually intensifies and grows stronger as the two characters pretty much stop messing around after they leave the coffee shop. They say that winner of this fight pays the bill, which makes sense because the other person's going to be dead. However, they've already dined and dashed at this point because Nagumo straight up just kicks Oki out of the building and they're flying away and battling into a different building. So I think at this point they don't have to go back. I don't think anyone at this restaurant is going to go back and look for them. But what Oki does reveal to us before we shift away to what's actually the main focus of this chapter is that with the new JAA being formed, with the gun tragedy and incident going on in the country, it did awaken a lot of new killing intent, and a lot of new recruits have sprouted amongst all of this chaos, which makes sense if you think about it. Oki mentions that the era of the Order being this almighty force, being this invincible level of assassin that no one else is able to reach, is over. As after the entire country has shifted, the abundant killing talent that has awakened might rival even them. Because remember, Nagumo's whole thing and reason for fighting Oki here, trying to get Oki to stand down, was because he believed that not having Shishiba, Osaragi, and him on the Order's side severely weakened them to the point that they were the losing team. However, if these new recruits are as strong as what Oki claims them to be, they may be able to level the playing field. But on top of that, it also seems like we were given some new characters so specifically most of the main characters will have a direct person to go up against, because we tried to do this a little bit earlier on stream, which, by the way, if you don't know, we stream the chapter reactions and reviews every Sunday. Definitely feel free to check those out. The possible matchups that could end the series, while some of them make sense, obviously you have characters like Shishiba who are going to be directly going after characters like Gozu. I personally think Osaragi has been set up to fight Kumanomi and avenge Shio, potentially. So there are characters like the Sebra brothers, Amane, Torimaru, I think that's her name, and other people that need something to do, potentially hacking into the mainframe and stopping the gun tragedy of the country may not have been all these characters can do, because as we get revealed to us, we are shown a police officer who says that there is just no point in being a cop anymore, because with the new JA existing, it's now legal to kill people, even though the guns, you know, are mostly stopped for the most part, that have been handed out in society with Shin and the Sakamoto gang's efforts. There are still guns working, and, you know, it's still legal to kill people. So someone like this person, even though, funnily enough, in Japan, there's like 2 gun deaths a year, if that. Like, most cops are not using their guns in Japan. It's just unheard of. Most cops de-escalate the situation without force. Surprisingly, believe that. So this is more so, I wonder if this is Yuto Suzuki's take on like a more westernized police officer, but either way, this person says the only reason he became a cop was to be able to shoot a gun. And now that he has been licensed to kill by the new JAA and scouted by them, he is potentially going to be one of these new quote-unquote order members that is set up to fight our main characters. We also have this woman who has a child and is completely covered and hidden from the sun with sunglasses and a face covering and, you know, like a sun hat, all of that stuff, a sundress, everything like that. And her having a baby is kind of crazy. The baby has the JAA license. We've now got, you know, single mothers just looking to make a living, you know, now participating in the killing, which I think is hysterical. I mean, hey, it's real shit, man. Real shit out here. So you got to pay those bills somehow. And we also get shown 2 sibling assassins that have just graduated from KKK Academy. Yep, you heard it here first, folks. KKK Academy, which Kyoto Kanzai Killing Academy, or I think it was said originally to be Kyoto Kanzai Region Assassin Institute, but I guess Yuto Suzuki or the translator thought KKKA sounded cooler, which is just an unfortunate turn of events here. I don't know if they understood what they were going for. But this is the same school that Shishiba actually was raised and grew up in. So even though he dropped out and did not completely graduate, this is still where Shishiba originates from. So Shishiba's a boss, and we know that that gives the potential for these new sibling characters to be bosses. And like I said, you know, potentially we are getting these characters introduced just so more of our main characters can have satisfying ends to their own character arcs by having final battles to go through. Again, with these sibling characters getting introduced, it's completely possible these may be the direct combatants of the Seba brothers. It's also possible that with the police officer getting introduced, that might be the fight for Torimaru or maybe Amane. There are so many different things that could come from these final battles. And the fact that new characters are getting introduced this late, that's really the only thing that makes sense to me. And I know a lot of people clowned on me a long time ago when I said a tournament arc would probably be the best way to clean up the final battle and the final ending. I still stand by that. Again, not necessarily like we get an official tournament where it's, you know, there's rules registered, we all go to an arena and everyone gets their turn, but more so, I mean, just having this final section of Sakamoto Days be nothing but all out choreography, violence, crazy antics, insane battles, weaponry, and just some of the most hardcore drawn shonen battles that we have ever seen and gotten, because that's what I've been on this ride for the entire time. And if that's where this journey has been taking me and that's the destination we're ending off on, then god damn it, I'm completely okay with that. But that being said, as you should already know, I'll be here every week, every Sakamoto Days chapter, talking about this series, because I'm here for the violence. I am here for the amazing fight scenes drawn by Yuto Suzuki, and I always will be. And if this is really how we're going out, then I just hope it's a blaze of glory. But guys, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about Sakamoto Days coming to an end. Are you happy that this series isn't going to drag on for too long? Are you sad because there may be some loose threads that are left completely just not tied up? Let me know your thoughts. And most importantly, don't be scared to subscribe so you don't miss any future Sakamoto Days reviews or any future Sakamoto Days videos that may be dropping, because again, there's more than just chapter reviews on this channel. Feel free to check it out and see what other content you can find. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right. And that is the Sakamoto Days summary in the books. And while I definitely think Kagurabachi was probably the more exciting chapter, obviously, I think what Sakamoto Days stands to be setting up can be a lot of fun. Oh, we are never getting another Lu fight, huh? Yeah, I don't think that is going to be the case, unfortunately. I really just don't believe that to be the case. I think Suzuki has no plans to do anything with Lu for the future. If he did, maybe, if he does, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't the end of, you know, the new characters that are going to be introduced, right? Maybe there's plenty more to be seen. Maybe there's plenty more to be seen. It's crazy because drunken boxing goes hard. Look at Rock Lee. Oh, I completely, wholeheartedly agree. Completely, wholeheartedly agree. But again, like I said, maybe it's a cultural thing. Again, I can understand not wanting to have a character that soul power is getting wasted. Even though we've seen drunken characters before, having a character whose sole purpose is getting drunk isn't always the best thing, but maybe I'm wrong. Core 2 is okay. The Saw versus Lu and Shin fight was definitely a little left a little bit to be desired personally for me. But the Osaragi versus Dump fight was okay. It was serviceable. It was serviceable. Was it the best it could have been? No. But was it terrible? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. The Nagumo versus Minimalist fight was really good, and the Apart versus Sakamoto fight, the first half of that, actually I think they did a great job with it. You could tell they put a lot of their effort into that Apart fight with Sakamoto, and it makes me hope to see the same kind of effort be put into the JAA invasion with Gaku and Takamura, because that is the true big moment, right? That is the true big moment of the series. I really don't think anything else is too crazy. I mean, you do have the JCC exam afterwards, which I think is just going to be the first half of that, which is fine. The JCC arc is very long, so that'll be fun. And honestly, the best fight in the JCC exam is when Gaku's fighting with the VR lag goggles. Noab, you're much more critical of things than I am, so I think I'll like it if you're giving it deserved praise. Yeah, I think they did. I think they did an okay job. Like I said, like I am definitely like I think the Shin and Liu versus Saw fight was a little lame, but I think they picked it up a little bit. Osaragi versus Dump, again, they did an okay job. It was all right, serviceable, but yeah, I think the Nagumo versus Minimalist and it's okay. Like anime onlys are enjoying it, and that's really all that matters. Is it as good as the manga? Unfortunately not. I do wish that Sakamoto Days ultimately did get better adaptations still. I still feel that way, but it's not the worst thing. It's not Blue Lock season 2. Blue Lock season 2 still is yet to be matched for me. I think Sakamoto Days is doing much better than that, at least. Still leaving much to be desired, though. Still leaving much to be desired. You know? What was I gonna say? Oh yes, so we do have new cop mom siblings. What do you think of the animation in Core 2 of Sakamoto Days? we just talked about that generally. Just definitely, if you want to hear my thoughts, go back on that just a little bit. So who's left? Who's left, right? Hold on, let me open another notepad. So who's left? Shin, Heisuke, Seba brothers, Toramaru, so maybe Natsuki and Mafuyu are separate, maybe. Kaji. Amane is still an important character. Kendaka and Yotsumura. I feel like some people are gonna have to double up, no? Like, I feel like the Seba siblings fighting together makes the most potential sense against the KKK siblings. Yotsumura fighting the mom is also possible. Yotsumura fighting the mom is possible. Maybe Yotsumura and Amane. Imagine the mom is Amane's mom and Yotsumura's wife. She lived, actually. He didn't kill her. He did the same thing Shishiba did, and he didn't actually kill her. He just incapacitated her. That would be a crazy twist. That's just a headcanon, but that would be pretty crazy. That'd be pretty wild. Yeah, I think Kendaka versus Torres makes sense. Oh, you know what? Maybe Kaji versus Tanabata. Huh? Maybe like Kaji and Shin versus Tanabata or something? Kaji and Toramaru. Maybe. I feel like some people maybe don't need to double up here. Kaji would be a great matchup for Tanabata. I completely agree. I think Tanabata and Kaji actually makes a lot of sense. Am I forgetting anybody? Am I forgetting anybody important? I mean, Akira, technically, I guess, yeah, Akira could join us. Yeah, Akira could help. Akira could help. Maybe Akira and Sakamoto versus Uzuki. That'd be kind of crazy. Tenkyu could potentially join a fight. I don't know who Tenkyu would be fighting with. Maybe Tenkyu could be a fight. Tenkyu's potentially, you know. I'm trying to make sure I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Oh, you also have Boiled, I guess, who can help. Boiled is also someone, I don't know if Boiled would get his own fight personally, but it's also possible that Boiled could be involved to some degree. I'm just looking through the character list to make sure I don't forget anybody. We could put Lou on here as well, but I doubt it. I wish Apart was still around, man. I wish we still had Apart. Club Jam is supposed to be incarcerated, right? Maybe Club Jam could get out. Even though he already kind of got no diffed. I guess that's a possibility. I mean, Kamihate, I guess technically is on our team. But he doesn't really feel like I feel like Kamihate could be left out of the final battle, and I don't think anyone would really be too mad. Boiled and Heisuke could team up. That's actually a good point. Tenkyu is just dead, bro. True. What's Club Jam finna do with no arms? I guess you got... Well, did he get his arms ripped off, or were they just broken? I actually don't recall. I actually don't recall. I think they were ripped off. Damn. Rest in peace. Apart was the best death row prisoner. Apart, I'm sorry. It should have been Apart, not Boiled from the prison arc. I would have much preferred Apart as opposed to Boiled, because Apart was just left unknown. We don't even know what happened to Apart. It's just assumed he died in that explosion with the JA incident. You know what I mean? Like, where is Apart? You're right. Like Boiled could have just been left out of the story, and it would have been fine. Like, while I'm happy to have Boiled come back, it makes more sense for Apart to be in the JA prison than it does for Boiled to be a part of the JA prison. But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, I just feel like the cop versus Heisuke. I feel like Heisuke on his own. Heisuke already, like, I feel like Heisuke is so much better at support. Like maybe Heisuke and Kanagori, Heisuke and Shin versus Kanagori, and then the cop. Can just I'm trying to think of who the cop mostly like directly mirrors, right? Like who does the cop only becoming a police officer just so he can shoot a gun and kill people? Like who does that like mostly correlate and go up against with? Like maybe Toramaru? Maybe Boiled? I think Seba versus the false cop. Yeah, I just feel like Seba makes the most sense to go up against the siblings with Mafuyu, but maybe not. Maybe Mafuyu and Amane, and Natsuki fights on his own, right? Maybe Natsuki fights the cop on his own, and then Mafuyu and Amane, or maybe Mafuyu and Toramaru because they're closer. And then Kaji and Amane versus Tanabata. I don't know. Or maybe here, hold on. I feel like Yotsumura and Amane working together absolutely makes the most sense. Maybe because Shin and Kaji work well together, right? Maybe Heisuke and Boiled versus Kanagori. Ayo, #1 fan. Thank you for the 5 gifted members. I sincerely appreciate that. You don't have to. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I just, man, I feel like, I mean, maybe that makes the most sense. And then Akira can fight with Sakamoto, possibly. Wouldn't Heisuke be against Kumanomi for revenge? Maybe that does make sense. That does make sense. I feel like Kumanomi and Osaragi have been set up to fight, but Heisuke versus helping versus Kumanomi does also make sense too. Maybe Heisuke can help with Kumanomi's long range, and that way Osaragi can fight better close ranged. Or maybe it makes sense for Kamihate to help instead. There's possibilities everywhere, honestly. I also wouldn't even be surprised if Kanagori doesn't have a final fight, right? If Kanagori doesn't even participate. If Kanagori is just too busy getting content and he's not even fighting. If Akira and Kanagori are just on the sidelines the entire time, that also wouldn't surprise me at all either. Like, you could completely just cut this out. You could completely just cut that out and have like a Heisuke and Natsuki team up or something else. You could even do Kamihate and Heisuke helping Osaragi, you know? But yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities here. There's a lot of different possibilities here. Kamihate helping Shishiba. True, that's a possibility as well. That's a possibility as well. I love you too. That's a very big possibility as well. Kamihate could help Shishiba indeed. But either way, I think the final battles, I think there's a lot of potential for these final battles here, and these aren't even guaranteed. Some of these may be completely wrong. Again, the Seba brothers could fight together against the siblings, but also Mafuya and Torimaru are another possible big duo because they seem to have been set up to have a little bit of a dynamic. I really feel like Amane and Yotsumura need to have some kind of closure, so I feel like having them work together in some way, shape, or form would be interesting, potentially. I feel like the mom possibly sets up the perfect possible, you know, direct mirror to Yotsumura and Amane's story, possibly, but she could also fight someone else. The cop could, again, go... I think the cop could really stand up against anybody. There's plenty of different people I think the cop could stand up against. He's kind of a wild card, honestly. Tanabata, I think, with his whole music deal, may work best with Kaji, and also Shin and Kaji have worked together before. That might be a good duo, but again, that could be completely different. Torres is a wild card as well, but I feel like Hindaka is the best possible matchup for Torres. And then again, you've got, I think as far as it goes, the direct order members, Nagumo is already fighting Oki, but again, these characters could split off and do different fights. Gozu is definitely Shishiba's target. We know that for a fact. And Osaragi and Kumanomi have had a bit of a rivalry since they got introduced. So I think that is also a big potential possibility. But yeah. I think it really could be, I think it really could go either way. Don't forget Gaku coming back. Listen, I just don't see Gaku coming back personally. I don't see Gaku coming back. If Gaku does come back, then these fights could look completely different. But I'm gonna base most of my bets on Gaku not coming back, even though you want to potentially say, sure, he could potentially be a threat, but I think he's dead. Personally, I think it is interesting that Gozu only said people like Haruma are turning in their graves and didn't mention Gaku at all, but who knows? Maybe that's just because Gozu, you know, was closer to Haruma than Gaku. Gaku was younger, I believe, right? But either way, y'all, I think these final battles for Sakamoto Days really could go in so many different ways. And I'm excited to really see what could potentially happen. I think as long as we get nothing but non-stop action, non-stop great Suzuki traditional choreography, then this ending can stick the landing. I think if we get more of the aquarium arc nonsense, we may be in for a rough landing here. But I trust in Suzuki. I always personally want to look and think best possible thoughts. You know, I never want to, you know, talk shit, never want to be negative when it comes to stuff like this. So I'm always hoping for the best possible outcome. Always hoping for the best possible outcome, right? That's just how we have to live sometimes. Anyway, y'all, so we are coming up on the end of stream, so thank you all so much. please, please, please do not forget, if any of you guys have Enchanted Blade teams that you wanted to drop, and wanted to have, you know, shown to stream on Sunday, please consider, you know, joining the subreddit. Please consider joining the Reddit. Not only does it, you know, help us feel like we have a little bit more community, again, it gives me stuff to react to at the end of stream, so that way we can all kind of, you know, have some fun. So if you have any ideas, like what me and Tiberius did in the Enchanted Blade draft, which, by the way, if you did not see that on Friday, go check that out. I did want to apologize that towards the end, I may have came off a little crazy. You know, sometimes, you know, the medicine and alcohol do not mix very well. But that's okay. We learn our lesson, and won't happen again. But still, I think it was great content. Tiberius was a great sport. And he also dropped a bunch of, he also dropped a video on his channel. So if you haven't already, go subscribe to Tiberius as well. Man makes great content. So yeah, we created a whole new team of Enchanted Blade wielders, and I think we had a fun time. So if you want the streamlined version, you could watch Tiberius's video. I think you'll enjoy it. That being said, y'all, we are gonna be calling it quits for this stream. Is there anything that anybody has left to bring up before we call it? If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It helps the stream way more than you know. Tiberius's channel is linked in chat, so go subscribe. The Reddit is linked in chat, so go subscribe. Go follow the Reddit. Gamersupps.gg/noop is also the pinned message. Go try Gamersupps for free. Get some free samples. Use code NOOP for free shipping. And again, use code NOOP for 10% off your order if you want some waifu cups, or you want to go ahead and take a plunge on some Gamersupps. I don't think you'll regret it. I have not seen Happy Gilmore 2. I haven't seen any of the Happy Gilmore movies, honestly. I think Happy Gilmore 2, that's the new Adam Sandler movie that's about to come out, right? He's making a sequel, which, you know what? Something can be said about, you know, the sequel culture that we live in, where people would rather make sequels than new properties. But that's a whole nother rant for another time. Y'all, thank you so much for coming to another Shonen Sunday. I genuinely always appreciate it. Support the official releases. Go read the chapters if you have not already. Chapter reviews will be up on the channel later today. And as always, it's nothing but love. One love out there to all of you guys. I appreciate you more than anything in the world. And again, please, if you could, go subscribe, please. Not subscribe. Go check out my new video, When Being Loyal Means Betraying Everything. Not only is it a sponsored video, so it helps the channel, I put a lot of effort into the writing of this video, and I would really love that if it did well. So yeah, please, you know, I would appreciate it if this video could get some love. And yeah, caught up on Star Striker Rich. I've been seeing you drop that in the Discord, and I've seen the art looks awesome, so maybe I need to check on that as well. But guys, yeah, absolutely love you all so much. Sending you that spirit bomb energy, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, 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 peace. One love.